How long do you think this shutdown will last? I am hearing whispers that there are some there are some on the Dem side that might cave. I got insider info. I think Cuck's had enough. He doesn't want to fight it anymore, I think. And we shall see. So should we all die? I think it is a terrifying precedent to set that you literally did this whole thing and you got no assurances and then you cave without any assurances. So then what was the point? What was the point then? You're basically training the entire country to know that you got nothing. You got no motion. You got no business. You got no smoke. Your smoke's not loud. Your business are not bad. You have been found devoid of motion. Like, I'm telling you, it's just, I mean, all jokes aside, it's just like, what was the reason for this back and forth? I think is one of the dumbest moments to actually capitulate to the Republicans. Like, I can't think of a mathematically worse moment to do it. Like, one, people do actually find the Republicans accountable for the shutdown for once. So that's number one. Number two, what was this all for if the Republicans could just learn the lesson that, oh, we can just like kill the poor and the Democrats can't do anything about it. And lastly, you're doing this right after the voters actually rewarded you for taking action against the Republicans. They blame the Republicans for the shutdown. If you just stop it without any concessions, then they're going to blame you for it. They're going to be like, oh, you idiot. So you did actually shut down the government. Wait, what? Schumer's on the floor now making this offer to end the shutdown. Clean CR. Bipartisan minibus of appropriation bills, 1 year ACA funding extension, bipartisan committee to negotiate on healthcare. There's a reasonable offer that reopens the government, deals with healthcare affordability. I didn't want to say I told you, but it's coming. But I mean, if they do concede on this, if the Republicans at least concede on this stuff, it's like fair. No. I mean, I'll look through the details of this, but it's not. This is better than what I suspected would happen. So we shall see.
After so many failed votes, it's clear we need to try something different. What the Senate is doing isn't working for either party and isn't working for the American people. Democrats have said we must address the health care crisis, but Republicans have repeatedly said they won't negotiate to lower the health care costs until the government reopens. So let's find a path to honor both positions. Democrats would like to see an end to this shutdown, and we want to respect Leader Thune's desire not to negotiate on ACA until after the government reopens. Therefore, we'd like to offer a simple proposal that would reopen the government and extend the ACA premium tax credits simultaneously.
Yeah, Republicans have already rejected Democrats' offer to end the shutdown. I think they need to do more. Democrats need to do more as far as like messaging. They need to be everywhere all the time, constantly talking about how the Republicans are dangling the starvation of 40 million Americans as a point of leverage against offering healthcare to tens of millions of Americans. Like, it's crazy. Schumer says this is a reasonable offer. Republicans are almost certain to reject it. 1R just noted that all this does is force Congress to address it around the midterms next year. Dream scenario for Dems to be able to talk about healthcare right before the elections. Yeah. No, it was smart. It's smart because yes, the year-long extension literally brings the conversation back to the forefront right before the midterms, and it's like that's not something that Republicans are gonna be on board with, you know. But the answer to that is okay. Then we do an extension, 2 years into the future? Like, their only counter could be, okay, we'll do a longer extension of ACA subsidies. You know? I might be libbed up, but conceding is the worst move. Let Republicans kill the filibuster. Dems never will. ACA lapses, and then people hate Trump more. And yeah, but the problem with the ACA lapsing in that situation is, like, you are losing tens of millions of people that previously had healthcare, you know? So there is, like, the cynical operative attitude that people have, but then they also do have to care about making sure that people don't, lapse in their coverage because it's too expensive. You know what I mean? It's this, like, as much as I hate these people, as much as I hate politicians, let's be real. This is a real calculation that they have to make. They're not like sitting around thinking, who cares if people starve? They'll get angry and they'll hate Trump. Like, they do care when people starve. Even from a cynical, shrewd operative perspective, they care because when people starve, they also start getting mad at them, right? So if there's one group that doesn't care when people starve, it's the Republicans. They've made that clear. It's obvious, especially because they're like literally dangling that as a threat, which is crazy. But I do think that like the Democrats are more responsive to that than the Republicans are. What's happening? Since when is Hassan pro-politicians? Have I missed something, or he joined the Democratic plan? Yes, I am a ride or die defender of the Democratic Party. And only because I'm in DC, even though I've been backing Chuck Schumer doing this in spite of my overwhelming criticisms against him since the moment that he did it, right? I think I've been on Team Chuck and Team Jeffries day one because this is a demand that I had. This was a demand that I had, and they actually followed through on it, and they have kept up the response so far. Do I think that they're doing the best job messaging around it? No. But clearly, in spite of their bad messaging around it, people do still legitimately blame the Republicans here. Adam Mockler had a good talking point here. Let's see.
Can I just ask, to either of the Republicans on this panel, would you rather see this government shutdown end in Trump's preferred way, which is terminating the filibuster, or Democrats' preferred way, which is extending healthcare? What do you say?
First of all, I'm not a Republican.
Okay, to be fair, both options seem good to me. If the Republicans concede and they don't pass they don't nuke the filibuster and they concede to the Democrats, then healthcare is funded. If they do actually hit the filibuster, if they do actually destroy the filibuster, then like the entire dynamic of senatorial runs changes. The entire dynamic of the Senate changes.
Sorry. Then what do you
Then
what do you say? I want to see what do you say?
I ran for city council as a Democrat in the city of New York.
Okay,
Lost by 100
Then
votes.
Then I want to ask you, what do you say about that?
I'm a New Yorker.
Okay, answer my question. Answer my question then. Answer my question.
Please explain the filibuster. No one seems to be doing that. It's just a process method of stopping a bill from passage that needs the supermajority vote. So people just threaten, or the threat of the filibuster is always there, which is why bills don't pass with simple majority, but supermajorities in the Senate.
I'm answering your question. But this is why we are where we are, because we've become so partisan. We've forgotten about the people who don't put gas in their car. We've forgotten about the people who can't feed their kids. We're more worried about here's why the Democrats are not motivated to settle this, because history will say under Donald Trump, it was the longest government shutdown. So it'll be it'll be now.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
So for them, for the Democrats, it's going to be down on his scorecard. I wish Congress would go home, go to their home districts, and see the people suffering.
You want to know who
and
it is?
then come back to Washington and then make their decisions.
Somebody is, and it's Marjorie Taylor Greene, and she's taking the sides of the Democrats actively. She has talked to her constituents, and she said their health care premiums are about to skyrocket. So, again, one party clearly has the moral high ground. Let me ask the same question. How should the shutdown end? The way that Trump wants it to end?
It should end that it always... There's one way it typically has always ended.
Negotiation.
Under Biden.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying.
Biden,
Negotiation.
It always ends with a clean
With
CR.
negotiation.
No. I reject your premise.
Wait, what do you mean you reject the premise? Like, that's how it ends. Until one side concedes. You're just basically saying Donald Trump has presented two options. One, erodes the filibuster, which a lot of congresspersons, especially on the Republican side, are fearful of, and maybe even many Democrats are, because it makes the Senate unable to pass bills. It basically makes it so that the Senate cannot pass bills. Can you explain why destroying the filibuster, especially in this context, is warranted given the current atmosphere and who's in control? Because there's no other world where this happens. Because the Democrats would never do it. I know Bernie is anti-filibuster repeal. I know. The filibuster is an important part of what the Senate is. Right now, we should maintain the filibuster. Bernie has used the filibuster in the past. And Bernie has defended the filibuster and not eradicating. Yes, the filibuster bill means a bill needs 60 votes instead of 51. Yes. Where do you stand on it? Oh, I'm in favor. Like, if they, as Adam Mockler presents here, if they pass an extension of the ACA and concede on the demands that the Democrats are making, fantastic. That galvanizes the base. That shows that when the Democrats fight, they win. And it's also good for people's health care to be covered. If they abolish the filibuster, that's also good in the long term as well.
Donald Trump wants to terminate the filibuster. Democrats want to extend health care credits. Which of these sides would you choose?
I reject that premise.
Okay,
I think the way that...
Yeah, cruelty for cruelty's sake is right. The Trump administration asked a federal appeals court for an emergency pause on federal judges' order to fully fund SNAP benefits this month. It is one of the most insane things I've ever seen, dude. They are actively saying, no, we want to starve people. We want to starve people. And it blows my mind.
Reasons and ordering the administration to fully distribute SNAP benefits by today. Judge John McConnell saying, quote, People have gone without for too long. Not making payments to them for even another day is simply unacceptable. Vice President J.D. Vance arguing it's not up to the courts to decide.
In the midst of a shutdown, we can't have a federal court telling the president how he has to triage the situation.
Just days ago, the administration had agreed to tap into more than $4.5 billion in emergency funding to partially fund SNAP, which 42 million Americans rely on. The White House insisted those payments would still go out. Even after the president posted on social media, SNAP benefits will be.
Bro, this is also such an insane moment, because the thing is, like, Trump could have looked like a hero to be like, I saved SNAP, and just lied and was like, I have the contingency funds, I found it, I saved it. The Democrats want to keep going with the shutdown because they want to starve you. Meanwhile, he's just like, nope, I want to purposely look like a villain. I cannot believe it. Every day that goes by, I'm closer to he doesn't want to have elections again because he wants riots that he violently deals with to call a martial law. This doesn't make any sense. I don't know why he's stress testing the system like this.
Even only when the radical left Democrats open up government. The judge pointing to the president's own words, accusing the administration of defying the court's order and causing irreparable harm, saying, quote, the evidence shows that people will go hungry, food pantries will be overburdened, and needless suffering will occur.
So the administration does plan to appeal this ruling. Back here on Capitol Hill, the Senate is expected to vote for the 15th time to reopen the government. And even as so many Americans out there are worried about whether or not they're going to receive their benefits, federal workers are going without pay. Right now, lawmakers are still getting their paycheck, even though the House of Representatives has been out of town and out of session for 49 days, Michael.
Yeah, it's embarrassing at this point, Rachel. It really is. Thank you.
Like, I know they want to get rid of SNAP. I know. Not a stress test when he's trying to get the system to fail. It's just like, he's also really annoyed with the whole, like, affordability stuff. Ironically, he campaigned on that and won on that. You know, fixing the prices, making groceries cheaper. And he is actively making it more expensive, both with the tariffs, both with the instability, both with the cuts to subsidies, and also with the cuts to SNAP in general. And it's like, I don't know where he's going with this. You know what I mean? Like, that's why you're seeing hella people experience buyer's remorse right now. Do you think he thinks everyone is rich, Law? Yes. He is surrounded by people who are so far removed from the realities of poverty that he can't even comprehend it, I think.
Airports across the country are bracing for even more flight cancellations and delays.
Oh,
after the FAA announced.
I had this experience this morning, by the way. I had the FAA experience, chatters. I flew in from LaGuardia, which is, of course, a smaller airport than JFK. And while we were sitting on the fucking tarmac, I got cooked. We got a 40-minute delay. The problem is, I don't even know how the fuck I'm gonna get back to LA. And then I don't even know how the fuck I'm gonna get to China too. So we shall see.
And will cut 10% of flights at dozens of major airports.
Our sole role is to make sure that we keep this airspace as safe as possible.
Experts say airlines would be forced to cancel thousands of flights nationwide in the coming days.
What will this mean practically for air travel? Is this going to lead to more flight delays, more cancellations?
Well, I think it's going to lead to more cancellations. We're going to work with the airlines to do this in a systematic way.
ABC News obtaining the list of the 40 airports that will be impacted. From the nation's busiest airport, Atlanta, Hartsfield, Jackson, to LAX, Dallas, JFK, Miami, Detroit, and DCA here in Washington. Air traffic controllers have been forced to work without pay during the government shutdown, leading to staffing shortages, delays, and ground stops. More than 60,000 TSA workers also missing their paychecks, creating long lines and wait times at security checkpoints.
We're petrified. We are concerned.
At Dulles International Airport, FAA radar technician and union rep Cleverson Schmidt says the strain has reached a breaking point.
So you were already short-staffed?
Correct.
And how much worse has the shutdown made it?
It's exponentially made it worse because we're exhausted now.
And how much does that compromise air safety?
Every day it goes up. That compromise goes up every single day.
Sources say the FAA will start cutting 4% of flights starting tomorrow and ramp up throughout the weekend. The CEO of Frontier Airlines now encouraging passengers to buy backup tickets on separate airlines if they're flying in the next 10 days. Experts warning of massive headaches for travelers.
I'm sorry, what do you mean? Just cancel the flight? Like what? Oh, you want to get back home? Just buy multiple tickets? That's crazy. No, dude, it's up to you to limit the number of flights that you are making available. Like, what? What do you mean? Buy backup tickets? What the I hate this country, bro. I swear to God. He said, hey, you want to fly back home? Sorry, gotta buy 2 tickets now instead of 1. What the fuck is wrong with your country? How can the government just choose to shut down? What the fuck is not a real country? What do I say to that? I mean, you're right. It's a clown show, dude. I don't know. Every day that I watch this administration move the way that it does is another day where I'm coming closer and closer to this thing that I otherwise would have considered a conspiracy theory before. But now I think it is the truth. They want riots. I think they want riots. They want riots so they can violently put the riots down so they can do martial law. That's what I think. I genuinely think we're trying to do a riot. Like the admin is trying to push and push and push and push until something takes place, you know, until people say enough is enough and there's mass instability, and then they violently put down said mass instability, and then they use that as a justification for martial law, all of that good stuff. Yeah, they're all moving to fucking military bases, bro. All the Trump administration officials are moving to military bases. I genuinely think they want riots. But what's really interesting is like they've also been so disrespectful to the military as well. So I don't even know how they're going to be actually safe. Because like the American military is very diverse. Sure, they have to follow orders. That's the whole point. But the military is still comprised of the regular demographics of the country. So they're diverse. They got undocumented migrant family members. I don't know why the administration just assumes that they're going to follow along no matter what.